when I turned my life into more of a teaching profession, I still performed on the side and on weekends and several Nutcrackers. But then when I got pregnant with my child, I hung him up because
Which was a year and a half ago?
Yes, ma'am. And I would have been like 8 months pregnant in the Nutcracker, so I couldn't do that. I couldn't fit in the tutu, right?
I think it'd have been cute.
Right. You sound like Cindy. I am thinking about, it's a possibility that I'm going to be the Sugar Plum Fairy in North Arkansas Dance Theater's Nutcracker this year. So we're working on that. I got to get back in my ballerina shape.
In your tutu. That's quite a drive to go up and practice for rehearsal.
Well, being the Sugar Plum Fairy, that's something I've done since I was 18. And so it's just a matter of rehearsing with a partner, and we go up, we rehearse the night before, and then we put on 3 shows within the next 2 days. So it's like a 3-4 day thing, not a
one thing people don't think about is, you can be a painter and you can hang up your brushes and then you can come back to paint. Mm-hmm. But you can never stop. A dancer is an athlete. You can never stop practicing.
Yeah. It's, every day your muscles and your body changes every day. Since our body is our instrument, you have to keep in class. You have to go back to that ballet bar or, that technique class all the time to keep your body as a well-tuned instrument. So, yes, I'm trying to get on that for this Nutcracker season, but we'll see.
Trying to get a regiment going.
Yes. Well, and a lot of it is it's just hard teaching full time to also go and take class, but I try to do as much full out with my kids as I can because that helps as well.
Was your mother a dancer?
She wasn't. My dad says I get my dancing legs from him. So, but neither one of them were dancers, like professionally. But they have been my biggest number ones from day one.
When did you start taking dance?
I used to put on shows for my families when I was probably 5 or 6 years old, but I didn't start taking going to actual dance classes until I was 8. I took with Andrea Pierkowski in Hot Springs, and she's still one of my best mentors and role models, and she's just one of those lifelong educators. So I still look to her, and I think a lot of how I teach is stemmed from her. And then my ballet teacher, Edmond Cooper, he's also in Hot Springs. So I started with them when I was 8.
Are you supposed to, is there a certain age that you should start? If I've got a young daughter or son, Gray, you actually went to ballet class.
It's true. I did when I was 6 years old.
Yes. It's it depends on the kid. I think, some kids, they need more experience socializing or expanding their creativity. So it really just depends on your child. But I think 4 or 5 is a good age, but
that seems so
8
early
is not
to me.
Too late.
8 is not. Misty Copeland.
Right.
I read about her.
Mm-hmm.
You know how old she was when she took her first ballet class?
I think almost a teen, right?
She's 13 years old.
I think it's 12 or 13.
And everybody's like, oh, that's too late. And she's the best in the world.
Well, you just have to work hard. It's all about work ethic,
Don't you think it's also, you have to have the muscular structure for it?
It is. So much of the dance world has been known that you have to be a certain size and a certain a certain height, a certain body shape, or a certain skin color even. But
she's African American,
exactly,
so that doesn't work.
It's so wonderful now in our day that we are actually breaking those barriers, that dance is all inclusive, that you can be any body type, height, shape, skin color. There's a big movement right now with tights and shoes coming in more than just pink, because the ballet pink tights are typical of, it's a tradition. Mm-hmm. But ballet came from Europe, and where it was Caucasian people, it has a Caucasian history. Mm-hmm. And so now in our world, especially in America, when we have so much diversity, the dance world is finally embracing and catering to that, I think. So that's really exciting, especially for my kids. I have a very diverse population, full of beautiful kids from different backgrounds. And so to give them the opportunity to dance that they might not necessarily have if it wasn't provided in the public school system, then it's quite amazing, quite inspiring.
I read in High Profile that Little Rock, Arkansas's recent mayor, Frank Scott, took ballet. I know he took a lot of dance, and I know he loves dance, and I think he said, I should have checked that, but I think he said in that High Profile that he took ballet and loved it.
Well, it's a beautiful individual art form that you do as a group. So it has that athletic team quality about it, where you are dancing with other people, you are training, it's a discipline, but it's also a very individual artistic expression. So it has, I think that's what is so special and what's so specific about any kind of dance education, is that you get that athletic training as a group, and so you get that camaraderie and that relationship with people.
Well, there's no better figure than a male ballerina. I'm just saying right now.
Yes.
They have got the best muscle structure because they have to hold those girls up. Now, it is a detriment to be too tall. Just because when you spread your arms out and you're doing circles, your center of gravity and your arms are way out there, it makes, I mean, I'm kind of a tall girl, and you get past 5'4", it gets hard to do a turn and stay straight. You kind of like spin out like a top.
Yeah, but then at the same time, I think it's just about finding and accepting your body and finding the most efficient way to move. Because I have some of my tallest girls, they're like I have a couple that are 5'9", 5'10". They tried to dance so little like the other girls. I said, no, loves, you have to expand and you fly through the sky. You soar. Like, you touch the walls, you reach past the ceiling, because it's all about embracing your body and finding the most efficient way to dance. That way you can dance forever and you don't have to retire when you're 20 years old.
Speaking of the tall girls, the extension that they have is beautiful. And their leaps and their gazelles. But the turns are extremely hard for them.
It's just that finding that different center of gravity, yeah. I'm 5'3" and like 3/4. But
that's a perfect height for a ballerina, because you put on a 3-inch toe shoe.
Right, but most people, a lot of times you go into auditions, and if you're not 4.5, 5'5", or whatever their specific type is for the company or the job, they'll just say thank you very much. But a lot of directors or choreographers, they always thought I was taller than I really am, because I dance big, but I was taught to take up space and to how to control that center of gravity and to move through space, to always dance bigger than I was, So it's just a matter.
Do you think everybody should take dance?
I do. I think that dance education should be not an elite thing that only people that can afford private instruction should have. I think it should be within the public school system, like how I'm so fortunate to be at Hot Springs School District, where I get to teach 7th through 12th grade. So I see them for years, and I'm their dance teacher for years. So I see them first. Maybe they had never been in a dance class before, and when they think dance, they think maybe something on YouTube, or they think, so you think you can dance, or they have their own. Or maybe they think dance maybe is how their family does, like they have salsa at home. So they all have their own experiences. So to be culturally responsive to that and say, yes, this is our dance, lives in all of us, but just in different ways. And then let me help you find the technique and alignment so that you can be efficient in your movement.
It does help with confidence.
Oh my gosh, so much.
So much.
It's that individual artistic expression. They find their voice, they find themselves.
What do you think that is the hardest thing about dancing?
I think sometimes it's ourselves. I've had students that they think that it's not possible for them to do it because maybe of their skin color or their height or their weight or their body structure,
something
or maybe
about their appearance.
Yeah, or something, maybe just they're not financially able, or maybe they have this wall up that says you're not good enough, or you'll never be good enough. So I think the hardest part is getting past that where if I can help instill in them just a wee bit of self-confidence, and how that this is my body, that I'm proud of my body, and I can here's how I can make it stronger and more flexible, and more efficient. But to really instill that, like, loving your body, to take care of their body, so that maybe they don't grow up to be smokers or have eating disorders, or and they really invest in their instrument. I think that's.
I looked at some of your choreography that you did on your website, which is what is your website, Amy Bramlett?
It is. Oh Lordy, it's new, Amy. I
think I just Googled Amy Bramlett. And
you'll find it. It's
right
a website.
and I went to it, and you have a lot of videos about some of the stuff you did, and you really do embrace the differences in all of your children. You choreograph the most fluid and pretty dances, and you can tell they are in love with it. It was very, very uplifting. If anybody's listening and is interested in any kind of dance, they should go to your website, just get inspired, and I don't know, what should they do next, Amy?
Well, I think just reach out. I have my my website. I think it's Amy D. Bramlett at Wix, .wix site, because I haven't gotten the domain yet. .dance educator. I think that's what it is.
Not everybody lives in Hot Springs is going to be listening to this show.
Right. So if you go online, I have a Hot Springs Junior Academy and World Class High School Dance, and I try to post everything. I also have the Hot Springs Dance Troupe, which is our advanced company, that is audition only. That they all go to Hot Springs
Are there
high
sponsorships
school.
For people that want to take dance?
Yes. Well, right now we fundraise for so much, and you name it, we've done it. We just did a car wash. We go out, we sell ads for our program. So we're always looking for sponsors for our T-shirts. The best part of my program, I think, at Hot Springs, is that the kids don't pay for costumes or shoes. They can buy their own shoes if they want to, but nobody pays for a costume because costumes are expensive, and I don't believe that any child should not get one if they can't afford it, and it shouldn't be a financial burden. So they pay $25 for their T-shirt for the year, and that's the only thing they have to pay for, and everything else is provided. And so we do that through these sponsorships of ads for our program. We sell, we do all the typical things. We sell cookie dough and have car washes, but they can contact me at bramletta@hssd.net, and we're always looking for sponsorships. If you want to sponsor just one child, if you want to pay $25, and that's there, and it gets them a T-shirt and a free leotard actually at the, so that they really feel like a dancer. Because sometimes, kids come in and they see the ballet bars, and they'll, it's their first time in the studio with Marley floor and mirrors and a sound system.
It's intimidating.
And it's very intimidating, yes. So just getting them, on top of that, getting them into a form-fitting leotard and tights, they're like, whoa, what's this? But they need to see their muscles. They need to see their alignment so that they can begin that process of accepting their body and celebrating their unique qualities as an individual. So
I love it. This is a great place to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with professional ballerina and now dance teacher in Hot Springs High School, Miss Amy Bramlett Turner. We will get the inside story on life as a dancer. Is it glamorous? And talk about this athletic profession. Where to go to school, what are the costs to your body, and what are the benefits to your body. We'll be back after the break.
You're listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy, a production of flagandbanner.com. Over 40 years ago, with only $400, Kerry founded Arkansas Flag and Banner. During the last 4 decades, the business has grown and changed, starting from door-to-door sales, then telemarketing, to mail order and catalog sales. And now, flagandbanner.com relies heavily on the internet and live chats with customers all over the world. Over this time, Kerry's business and leadership knowledge has grown. As early as 2004, she began sharing her knowledge in her weekly blog. In 2009, she founded the nonprofit Friends of Dreamland Ballroom, and in 2014, Brave Magazine, a biannual publication. Today, she has branched out into podcasts, Facebook livestream, and YouTube videos of this radio show. Each week, you'll hear candid conversations between her and her guests about real-world experiences on a variety of businesses and topics that we hope you'll find interesting and inspiring. Stay up to date by joining flagandbanner.com's mailing list. You'll receive our Water Cooler Weekly e-blast that notifies you of our upcoming guests, happenings at Dreamland Ballroom, sales at flagandbanner.com, access to Brave magazine articles, and Kerry's current blog post. All that in one weekly email. Or you may simply like flagandbanner.com's Facebook page for timely notifications. Telling American-made stories, selling American-made flags. TheFlagandBanner.com. Back to you, Kerry.
Thank you. You're listening to Up in Your Business with me, Kerry McCoy, and I'm speaking today with Miss Amy Bramlett, professional ballerina and current dance instructor and choreographer at Hot Springs Middle School and High School in Little Rock, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Before the break, we talked about, what a ballerina looks like, kind of the criteria. We talked about getting to know your body. We talked about how everybody should everybody should take ballet. I had my son sign up for ballet for 1 whole year. I think you did it, but at least he did it.
It was a year and a half.
A year and a half?
I was 5 and 6 and then once in high school. And that was it.
Oh, that's right. You did tap in high school. All 3 of my boys took tap in high school. And you know how the teachers love that. The teachers are like, 3 boys. I got 3 boys.
I would be jumping up and down.
I know, it was fun. And then we talked about, how to donate and how to go onto her website if you want to learn more about her and about dance. But now let's talk about education and training. How important is it to go to college for dance? Can you not go to college and be a professional dancer?
You can. There's so many different pathways. It kind of just depends what genre you're going, what your goal is. For me, I knew I wanted to perform, and I really wanted to, in high school, I wanted to go and this is a great thing. I went to Hot Springs High School, and so I now teach at my alma mater. So I bleed very black and gold. And I remember in high school, I wanted nothing more but to get out of Arkansas to dance because I was a teenager and I just wanted to dance.
Yes.
But my ballet teacher and my other just high school teachers, they strongly encouraged me to dance in college instead of just trying to go make it.
You were just going to go to New York.
I was never really drawn to New York for
whatever reason.
Where were you going to go? I don't know. Whoever wanted to hire me, I didn't care. I'd go anywhere. But I'm so glad. And I did the audition thing. So I auditioned for Juilliard and a couple. Oklahoma has really great dance programs. And then I went to TCU, which is Texas Christian University, which is actually where my ballet teacher went to school. And so he was kind of pushing me there. And I was an alternate for their big dance scholarship my first year. But after I ended up going to TCU, and I was accepted as a ballet and modern dance major. And they gave me scholarships. And so after my first year there, I was an alternate for they only give 2 $40,000 scholarships. And so I was an alternate for that. And after my freshman year, they gave that to me. So I had that for the rest of my time there. And I think I really push for my kids to go to college and study dance because it not only continues your training, but you get to be in different choreographers' works. You get to train with amazing people, make connections, network. I think at TCU I learned not only how to be a professional and how to market myself, but also how to be a teacher, how to be a choreographer, how to be a lighting designer, how to sew costumes. Like, you learn all the different hats that you'll have to wear so that they're making you an active artist. They're not just making you a dancer. And so different university programs have different focus. You can go, you can study dance pedagogy or go more the performance.
What's dance pedagogy?
Oh, like teaching.
Oh.
You can go more like dance education way, or you can go performance, or you can go ballet versus modern or jazz. So there's a lot of different university programs. UA Little Rock now has their degree program. When I was in school, it wasn't there, and so that wasn't an option for me. But
UA Little Rock has a dance program?
Yes.
Oh, it has a ballet program, doesn't it?
Yes, they actually, I think they now offer a BFA, like a Bachelor's in Fine Arts, and a BA. So that's really, they're just slightly different focused programs, I believe. I actually had 7 seniors audition from Hot Springs World Class High School, and I had 7 accepted, and 4 of those were on scholarships. So that was a really life-changing moment for me and my kids.
For them.
Yeah, for them. Oh my gosh, like they didn't even think that was an option.
It validates especially you as a teacher, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. And I think as an educator too, I feel like I constantly have to advocate for our program and for my kids, because sometimes people have different ideas of dance, just like the kids have different ideas of what a dance class is when they walk into my studio. Administrators, community members, they all have different ideas as well. So I think giving them as much information as possible, showing them, all the different training that comes with the dance education, and then having seniors get scholarships.
How much goes into how much there is if you want to go to lighting and choreography and costumes and sets. If you want to do all of that, it can get very deep. And I hear people talk a lot about technique. Is that what you learn in college from the different dance instructors?
You have to have a strong technique as growing up. Like I stress technique to my kids. It's not just about creating pretty dances or not so pretty dances. It's about giving them that strong foundation of classical and contemporary technique, so that when they go to college, because when they go to audition, it's going to be a ballet class and a modern class.
So when you talk about technique, are you talking about the ballet positions? Is that the technique we talk about?
Yeah. So using turnout, having the flexibility and the efficiency to work through turned out and turned in positions in modern and jazz dance. They work through turned out and parallel. So if you haven't been in a dance class, and you go to audition for a dance program, you're gonna be lost.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me. I have my kids within the school day, so I try to structure it very strong, that we have ballet days and modern days and jazz days, and give them units of study in tap and clog, so that they get a strong foundation in technique, but also exposure to African dance and clogging and different world forms.
Well, I see on your resume that you sent me, I see under education 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I see 5 or 6 universities you went to.
Well, I studied.
Or were they special classes or continuing education? Maybe?
Yes. So like
the Tulsa Ballet.
I did that
That's a very
as
prominent.
Yes, I was only 15 or 16. I did that for a couple summers. Those are what we call summer intensives. So you go for like 2 to 4 weeks, somewhere.
And you can do that when you're in high school.
Oh yes, I actually have. I think I have like 5 or 6 students right now. I have one at TBT, which is at TCU, so that's Texas Ballet Theater. I have one at the Glenda Brown Project in Kansas City right now. I have one student at Ballet Arkansas right now, and another. I have 2 others at Arkansas Governor's School right now, which they're not dancing, but they used their choreography experiences in their application for Governor's School. Are they all girls,
or is there any boys?
Those students are all girls. I do have, I think I have less than 10 boys in my program, but it kind of fluctuates. Sometimes I have a couple more, a couple less. So
if they knew that they were going to get to hold girls up in the air in skimpy leotards, I don't know why all of them wouldn't sign up for it.
I try. We did. We have a National Honor Society for Dance Arts. We just established the chapter last year, so this was our first full year. It's a national organization. The kids have to have so many points, and they earn points by participating in so many different dance courses and performances, flash mobs, and that kind of thing. And my leaders of that National Honor Society, they led it stretching, and we had to call it stretching yoga, but it was really our jazz warm-up for the basketball team this year.
Harder than it looks, isn't it, basketball players?
They did it twice, and we're going to blame it on scheduling that they didn't come back. We're hoping that we'll do it more this year. So, because our basketball team is very good, but they're not flexible. And so, I know. Sometimes it helps with injury prevention, to have that flexibility and to have that that kind of ritual that you could do before games to get in the zone and in your body, and that way your body has a
Dancing with the Stars has had a couple of athletes on there. The Dallas Cowboy running back, not Stewart. Oh, come on.
I can't
he
remember.
was so famous. Look, Zach's about to pull his eyes out. He can't think of it. I'll think of it here in a minute.
It'll pop up.
But he said it was one of the hardest things he's ever done. And he was a champion Dallas Cowboy running back for years. And he said he won Dancing with the Stars in the second or third season. And there was another one on there that talked about the discipline of dance and how incredibly hard it is.
Well, because you not only have to do it, but you have to look good doing it too. You know, you can't have a crazy face.
Oh, wait, Zach's got his name.
He's got it.
Emmett Smith.
Emmett Smith. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Let's see. And you also were in somewhere in England.
Yeah. So
You were in the Arsmirk. What is it?
Ormskirk.
Ormskirk, England.
So I was fortunate enough to study abroad when I was at TCU, and we studied physical theater over in England and got to go to the Fringe Festival in Scotland. And it's just one of those moments in your life where I knew that this had changed me as an artist. So a lot of my work now that I do with my students at Hot Springs is that we work with something called social justice art. And so we talk about things that bother us in the world. And I find out, the kids write about and they watch things to get inspired about anything that bothers them in the world. So this past semester, we did poetry. And I brought in a guest poet who's a famous local poet in Hot Springs, Kai Coggin, and she talked about poetry and poetic devices, and she had a collection of social justice poems. And so my students went through and chose a poem based on the social justice issue that they have a problem with. So some of them were abuse, immigration, school shootings, gun violence. These were not happy topics. These were very sensitive and sometimes personal topics that some of my kids really experience and go through. So it was a little bit scary at first as an educator because you don't know what they're going to do, especially these are high school kids and you're giving them the power to have a voice. But they took up the poem and that was their structure for their choreography. And this was the first time we had like a student choreography show. And they all did these in school. And another layer of it is that they couldn't perform their own work. They had to teach it to another student. So another student might not feel that way about that issue, but they had to embody that. They had to have that kind of open communication and, be open to taking risk and supporting their fellow dancer because they wanted to make that vision come true. So I had
wonderful.
So powerful. And my students, they blew me away. They created works that were just gut-wrenching, some of them, because it's coming from them. They are, it's their voice. I had no say in it. They designed the costume, the music. Some of them read their poems as the music, didn't even have music. That was all part of their choreographic process. And they journal about it along the way to reflect, and then we give each other feedback on it, and it's very objective. It's like, okay, I saw this, I saw that, there was a powerful moment here, and it's nothing like, oh, I didn't like it, like there's kind of rules to our discussion. Sure. So we have this reflective feedback process, and there's rules to the discussion, and they're very they keep each other in line, like, because they're like, oh no, you can't say you didn't like it, like I really saw that, and that usually means they really liked it. They're like, I really saw that you took time to show the force of this and this, so their language. How long a period
did that take to do? Was it a semester?
It was like 2 months that we spent in class, and they were from the time that they chose their poem to performance. It was only 2 months.
Did they perform it in front of just each other or in front of other people?
They had to perform it in front of just their class, and then they had the option, which I strongly encouraged and might have given extra points for if they auditioned it to be in our student choreography show. And most of them did audition. I think there were 32 dances and 25 of them auditioned. And I brought in judges, to adjudicators, not judges, but adjudicators, to say, okay, this one's it's well thought out, it's well planned, it's well rehearsed. This one can go on stage. So it has nothing to do with like, oh, I didn't like that dance, so it's not going. It's just about, it's not about our viewpoints. It's that we can all have a viewpoint, and as long as it's well rehearsed and well thought out, then that's fine.
What about the injuries that come from being a dancer?
I mean, everybody has their tendencies. When you're working, that's what's so important about technique class, is to, like, my tendency, I am very pigeon-toed. I get that from my mama.
You are a ballet dancer
I'm
and you're
very
pigeon-toed? How's your turnout?
Well, I got to work it, you got to find those muscles to work it. But if I let my ankles roll in, like to pronate, then I was starting to get like knee and ankle problems, like when I was like 17 or 18. But you have to adjust it and work. I had to figure out what's right for my body and what muscles I need to work, and it's a lot of like mind-body connection. So teaching students to have that mind-body connection is hard, but it's called somatic practice. But so teaching them to do that helps prevent injuries, because the more you know about your body and the more you know about your tendencies and your habits, the more well-educated and knowledgeable you are to fix those things, so you could have a longer life dancing.
All right, when we come back, this is a great place to take a break. When we come back, I'd want to talk about why you decided to quit dancing, and if there was something that happened. Never. But you did get out. You are a teacher now. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with the ballerina and now dance teacher at Hot Springs Middle and High School, Miss Amy Bramlett Turner. And if you have a question for Amy, stay tuned, because Sun Gray will give you the hotline number right after the break for calling in. I want to remind everyone, we're broadcasting live every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time on 101.1 The Answer and flagandbanner.com's Facebook page. And that after each show's airing, a podcast is made available on all popular listening sites and YouTube. Phone number when we come back.
flagandbanner.com is proud to sponsor Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. TheFlagandBanner.com is so much more than a flag store. Housed in a 100-year-old building in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, we offer an old-school shopping experience with free front door parking, friendly clerks, and department store variety. Bring your old flag into flagandbanner.com and receive $5 off a new one. While there, browse our rustic farm-to-table home decor, patriotic clothing, jewelry, party supplies, and festive dishware. Add a pop of color to your walkway with our seasonal garden banners and door hangers. Can't make it downtown? Don't worry, the internet never closes. You can always browse our website 24/7 and live chat during office hours with customer service representatives that are eager to help you. And if online shopping isn't your thing, call our customer service experts, available by phone 6 days a week. Now that the 4th is over, it's time to hit the lake. Stop by flagandbanner.com and pick up a few nautical flags for your boat. Spell your name or the name of your boat with international signal flags. Ahoy from flagandbanner.com.
Where am I?
I think you're on the radio.
I can't remember what I'm supposed to do next. Sorry, everybody. You're listening to Up in Your Business with me, Kerry McCoy. We were having a great discussion at the break, and I kind of lost track of where I am. But anyway, I'm speaking today with Miss Amy Bramlett, professional ballerina and current dance instructor and choreographer at Hot Springs High School in Hot Springs, Arkansas. If you've got a question or would like to ask her something, you can call in. Gray, do you have the number?
I sure do. The number is 501-823-0965.
Give it again, Gray.
501-823-0965.
Thank you. Before the break, we were talking to Amy about returning home to be a professional, to be a teacher, about life as a dancer. Her sister's tweeting her right now. And I wanted to ask her, though, what it's like to perform, to travel. I know dancers travel a lot. It's not a home life. You've got to really be dedicated to it. You've got to really love it. Was there something that happened a year and a half ago or 3 years ago? How long? Let's see. When did you quit? When did you move home? 2015? 2015?
14.
2014.
Yep. 14.
Was there something that happened?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
So I was dancing on, I think it was the Grand Princess, if I remember right, which is a cruise ship. And we were in Alaska, I think, yeah. And something was hurting my foot, and it had been hurting for a little bit, and it just felt like sharp pains. And it got worse and worse. And it's just something that happens when you wear, it's typical for actually older women for when they wear high heels their whole life. So I had Morton's Neuromas in
What
my.
is that?
It's when your nerve is pushed to the out from between your bones, but to the bottom of it was pushed to the bottom of my foot. So every time I was, pushing off the ball of my foot, which is, most of my life, and in heels dancing or in point shoes.
So it's the ball of your...
Yeah, it's the nerve. It was the nerve between my two metatarsal bones, and it was being stepped on. Like it had pushed from between the bones to the bottom, so I was walking on raw nerve and dancing on raw nerve. And I just couldn't take it anymore. And so they disembarked me to have surgery and at the end of 2013. And so I was waiting for my surgery. I was planning to go back to the ship. I just was disembarked, so I was kind of bummed. But in the meantime, I think that's when I did a guest residency at Henderson State with their dance company, because they have a wonderful dance minor program under Jennifer Maddox. And I was pulled into teaching at Oaklawn Elementary, which is Hot Springs School District's performing arts elementary school. And I was just waiting for my surgery. So I wasn't I could walk, but I just was in pain. I actually did a couple Nutcrackers because, what do you do? It was Christmas season. So Nutcracker
Take
season.
a lot of pain pills.
Right, yeah. And it's just one of those things when you're a dancer, you kind of have that mentality.
You're an athlete.
Yeah, you're just an athlete.
Yeah.
You have to know your own limits.
Get a
and
steroid
so I knew
shot.
I could do it.
Get a steroid shot in your foot.
Oh, no, that's a big no-no as a dancer, because you always want to feel your body. So when you get a cortisone shot, you can't feel, and then you could hurt yourself worse. So that's a big no-no.
I thought that's what athletes did.
I think athletes might, I don't know. I think athletes might do that, but dancers are taught not to do that, because we're all about feeling our body and having that mind-body connection. But I could be wrong. I don't know. So I was waiting for my surgery, and I had it right before Christmas. In the meantime, I did meet Mr. Zachary Turner, who's now my husband. And I had my surgery, and I never went back, because they offered me the middle and high school position at Hot Springs School District, and it kind of all fell into my lap, and God had a plan, and I didn't know that was it, but I thought I was too young to take that job, but with the mixture of meeting Zach and having the job offered to me, that was kind of a dream come true, because it was my alma mater. It's where my parents went to high school. My whole family went to high school there, and I knew that, I thought, I didn't know. I thought I could make a difference, maybe.
I think you are.
And so, so I stuck around, because I had been traveling to dance for a long time, for years. I had missed a couple Christmases and Thanksgivings, and sometimes you get tired of being in different time zones all the time, like Skyping my mom and dad at random hours of the night, to kind of keep that
so
home
you
connection.
graduate from college.
Mm-hmm.
You probably get a job with a dance troupe.
I went straight to Royal Caribbean. I think I graduated in May, and I think I packed up all my stuff, took it home, brought it back to Hot Springs, and then I flew to Florida for rehearsals in June.
You were with Royal Caribbean for...
I did one ship with them. So I think I was with them. That contract was 8 or 9 months. And then I switched over to Princess Cruise Lines. They just offered me a different contract, and that I got to go to Europe. So I did that because my first one was in the Caribbean. So I went to Europe and saw everything. Italy, Venice, Barcelona, France, everywhere. You see Greece, you just see everywhere. And doing what I love, and getting to meet so many people from all walks of life. Because, on cruise ships, I was actually one of probably 10 Americans, of the crew. The crew members are from all over. And so dancing and working with people from such different backgrounds, that was really enticing for me. I just wanted to soak up all they knew. And one of my dance partners I danced with was from Belarus, and it's where is that? And so just learning from him and dancing ballroom with him was such an experience. You know, that's one of those life experiences that I felt very fortunate to have. So did that for a couple years, and then that's when I got hurt. And
How many years
came here.
all totaled were you out?
Oh, I think 3.5, something.
And you went to
yeah.
school for 4.
Yes.
And then you were a professional dancer for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 years ago, you became a teacher.
I did.
Do all dancers become teachers eventually?
No, not necessarily. Like that's kind of like the thought, and it makes sense. But not all good dancers are teachers. You know, just like not all like artists are teachers. Some are better choreographers, and so they step into that, or they go into like arts administration, where they're executive directors, or you know they work in marketing for a dance company, or you know whatever, you know, that kind of administration kind of thing. I did not realize that I was such a teacher, and that I love dance education. And I think I just graduated with my master's in dance education from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro.
While you were teaching, you got a master's?
Yes. And that is a really amazing program because I actually went to dance in North Carolina for 3 summers in a row.
So your foot doesn't hurt anymore?
No, we're okay. It's just constantly numb because there's no nerve there. So
Oh,
it's
is that
just,
what they
it's
do?
like
They just
asleep.
cut the nerve
Yeah, they
out?
like burn it out. So it's fine. It's fine. It's no big deal. I think I might have to have it done on the other foot eventually, but it's fine. So yeah, the last 3 years I've been not only teaching, but working on my master's. So it's like an online program during the year, and we are studying and creating curriculum and implementing it into your classroom. So like in order to get this master's, you have to be a teacher in a public school or university setting, like, you know, in some kind of, or a studio setting. So learned so much about myself as a teacher, as a person, as an artist, as a choreographer. And so now just passing that on to my kids, and they've kind of, you know, they've had the curriculum implemented, like the poetry unit we were talking about.
Oh, that came from your master's class?
Yeah, that was my thesis. And so I wrote, you know, so I have this 150-page thesis on all the reflective practice and the cross-disciplinary, interdisciplinary approaches to teaching, and you know, how the arts, how it makes so much sense for dance. Dance is such an embodiment of like experience, so it makes so much sense to use dance to teach all kinds of, you know, all kinds of things, history and language arts and all the things.
I want to take this minute to tell everybody that you're listening to Up in Your Business with me, Kerry McCoy, and that I'm speaking today with Miss Amy Bramlett, professional ballerina, current dance instructor, and choreographer at Hot Springs Middle and High School in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Is there a trick to remembering the steps?
Yeah, muscle memory.
That's the hardest part to me.
No, it's just muscle memory. You got to just do it, you know, repeat it. And some people rely on music. You know, they want to ba 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 da da da, you know, but some people rely on counts where it's like 1, 2, 3, and a 4, you know. So it just, you have to define how you have to find how your mind and your body interprets the movement, and then do it over and over and over, and you'll have muscle memory.
When it's a long dance,
yeah,
I'm like, how can they remember that your arm goes up here and your leg goes back there and your head goes that way?
Actors, I'm like, how y'all remember all those
I
lines?
agree.
I
how
get
do
so
they
nervous.
remember all those lines?
I don't know. I get so nervous. I've had to, you know, when you're a dancer, you're in musicals and things, and so I have lines. And I get more nervous about my 2 lines than I do dancing for, you know, 2 hours. Like, I don't know how
if
to
you do dance and you continue, if it's muscle memory, and you are dancing and you keep making the wrong step, and then you do it again and you make the wrong step, and then you do it again and you make the wrong step, how do you ever make the right step?
Well, it's just a matter of breaking it down in a different way that works for you.
Do it slower, do it right.
Yeah,
do it
so
slower, do it right.
So, you know, sometimes I have kids that need the counts. I'm personally like more of a rhythm person. Like if I hear the music and like I kind of sing the steps with the music, that's how like my body remembers. But some kids need counts, or some, you know, and some dancers need counts, or they might need to think about it in a mathematical way, because dance and music is very mathematical. So I have one particular student, I know that I need to break it down mathematically for her. So it's just a matter of, it's kind of like that differentiation of instruction and figuring out how each of your kids learn, And if there's something that they're not doing and you keep telling them, well, you got to find a different way to tell them because it's not making sense to them.
That's because you care.
I do. I care so much. I love them. I'm so blessed to be in my position. We're the only dance program in Hot Springs. The other school districts in Garland County don't have a dance program. So I feel very blessed that my own alma mater has this beautiful dance program that is like my home. Like it's my home. It's my little dance family.
It's like your destiny.
It is. I love it.
How many students do you have?
I have 150 every year. I have 15 in my dance troupe, which is my audition-only company, 2 managers, and then 2 apprenticeships. So those are young ladies that might have auditioned. They did audition, but they didn't make it, but I see potential in them, so I offer them a apprenticeship where they can come to all of our classes and rehearsals and get that experience, so the next time when they want to audition that they'll be better off.
Oh, I love that.
Set that. Yeah.
How old's your oldest?
Dancer or my child?
No, your oldest dancer.
Dancer? It's my seniors, so some of them are 18.
I thought I read
had
where
a
you
19.
had 70-year-old dancers.
Oh, that's fun. Yes, I have to. Like, when I teach in studios, I have, or actually on cruise ships too, they always want you to teach a dance class. So, it could be 88. Like, I think my oldest tap dancer was 68, but my oldest, like, at sea, that was like 88. And she was wonderful.
Was she
amazing.
wonderful? Was she used to be a dancer or something?
No, she just loved dancing. Like, she had danced when she was a child, but wasn't ever professional or anything. But yes, she was wonderful. That was Miss Kathy. She liked to cruise,
it's a great
too.
exercise.
Yes.
To keep dancing, it brings joy, and it's a great form of exercise. I think everybody should dance. I just love it. One word to sum you up?
Oh, I don't know. What do y'all think?
Enthusiastic.
Extra. My kids call me extra.
Extra.
All the time.
Extra.
You're so extra, Miss B.
It's just a modern word for enthusiastic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You're so extra, Miss B.
Thank you so much for coming
Of
on, Amy. Here's a
course.
gift for you.
Oh, yay.
So I need to tell everybody that you actually performed at Dancing into Dreamland a couple of
kids.
years ago. You
Yes.
brought your kids up because one of our,
Can I tell you about them real quick?
real quick.
Okay, so my dance troupe was formed when we went to perform at Dancing into Dreamland in 2015. When we came back from that, my administration was like, okay, you can have a little dance company. And because I said, okay, I took this group of kids, we went over, they won People's Choice. We've already gone to Europe to perform our own rep. We raised $48,000 to take 13 students to Europe, and we were in Austria, Germany, and Italy in 2018. And so we've been invited again. It's called Stars of Tomorrow. So we are currently fundraising for that, for my dance troupe now, that will be performing in Europe in 2021. So we have a little less than about a year and a half to raise $48,000 again. So here we go again.
Congratulations.
So I think we're coming back this year because
Dancing into
most of
Dreamland?
most of my original ones, they were only in 8th grade, and now they're seniors.
Are they going to be performing?
Yes.
It's the champion. This year, Dancing into
didn't know
Dreamland
that.
is the Tournament of Champions, and
didn't
you
even know that.
won. Your dance
Yeah.
troupe won, so you get to
get to
come
come
back.
back.
I'm so glad they're going to be around.
know,
I
it's
worried
so-
that they wouldn't be around.
No, it's so full circle. It's perfect because they're seniors. And now I have all the little ones, like, my 9th, 10th, 11th graders in there too, so it'll be their first time. So it's wonderful.
I'm getting the signal. We've got to go.
Okay.
There's your T-shirt, Dancing into
Thank
Dreamland
you.
T-shirt. Thank you so much, Amy Bramlett. I've enjoyed you. Thank you to
No, thank
everybody for
you.
being with us. We'll see you next time on Up in Your Business.
You've been listening to Up in Your Business with Kerry McCoy. For links to resources you heard discussed today on today's show, go to flagandbanner.com, select radio, and choose today's guests. All interviews are recorded and posted the following week. Subscribe to podcasts wherever you like to listen. Kerry's goal is simple: to help you live the American dream.
We did it! Well, we almost ran over. I was back there going crazy.
I'm sorry. I had to put in the plug, okay?
I forgot to ask you about it. I'm glad you're coming back. I knew we were.
I reached out to somebody. I don't know who
Jeff.
it was.
Oh no, Richard. Richard was trying to get hold of everybody, and he didn't know if your people would still be around because they were such young. They were
no, it's on my calendar. So I need to.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. I know. Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I didn't even know it was champion time.
It's the tournament of champions.
That's amazing.
Killer.
So we're doing a chance to dance, which is like our fundraiser for we just give away college scholarships, but it's through the Women's Chamber of Commerce, and we're bringing together dance groups. We used to do like couples, like Dancing with the Stars, like couple, like celebrities, but we ran out of celebrities, and so we needed to like freshen it up. So
well, plus I like the way Dancing into Dreamland celebrates all genres and all ages. I like that for some reason. You know, a lot of people have said you need to pick a genre, ballroom only, and I'm like, we had a belly dancer a few years ago.
Yeah.
They tore the house down
that's
because they were half dressed.
Right. Well,
Oh, so all the men were starting to lose interest, and all of a sudden the belly dancers came out, and next thing you know, all the men are standing around the dance floor, chewing their cud.
Hey.
They're like,
Oh Lordy. No, it's gonna be precious because we did Sing Sing Sing.
yeah.
That was our first dance.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they were so cute. They were, they were just cute and poised. And, that was our first time performing like together.
Jeff was so into y'all. He still is.
Oh yeah, he's so funny. I love him. And I try to send him a shirt like when I can. So we're gonna do Sing 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 like amped up, like the reboot, and it's like really fast and like off the things. And I'm like, oh, these people are gonna think this is all we do, but
no,
yeah, that's what I figured.
No, in fact, and that'll be easy to get all the kids trained and ready and see the choreography of the two different styles.
Yeah,
so
we're excited. My seniors, they were just little 8th graders, so they are so excited to come back. Because, when they won that People's Choice Award, they just, like, their confidence, and it was that night that I knew that, like, life has changed. Because, like, they are my focus, they are my loves, like, it is my job to, get them to the next level. And so, and several of them, I had two going to major in dance next year. One went out to LA, he got accepted at Hampton, which is a big, Jason Derulo went there. So he got a scholarship to Hampton, so he's going there. And, the wheel just keeps turning. So
when you die 50 years, 60 years from now, you'll have so many kids.
I hope so. It better. I hope so. Because this is all killing me.
It is so much work. Being a teacher like that, there's a lot of after hours work.
Oh.
A lot more than people realize. It's like being a coach.
Yeah.
There's a lot of after hours. Huh?
I'm not considered.
They should
a coach.
be. They should consider you're a life coach just like everybody else. You should be considered a coach.
I always wrote that in my athletic.
Good job, Smith. What's his name?
Emmett Smith.
Emmett Smith, yes.
We almost forgot again.
I could see his face and everything.
I know. I could see his dance. I enjoyed it so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We enjoyed it so much.
For my shirt.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited.
I got you a little small. They were like, get her a medium. I said, hell no, give her a small.
Cut the neck hole out of it a little bit anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but I hate baggy t-shirts. Loose ones,
Well, thank y'all so much.